its professionally to large global equipment OEMs. It operates 3 state-of-the-art equipment manufacturing plants near Mumbai and Pune, reinforcing its position as a trusted industry supplier. Looking ahead, the company plans to expand its capacity by 30,000 MT over the next 2 years, which will further solidify its leadership in the industry at its manufacturing facilities. This issue provides a unique opportunity to investors to participate in India's massive manufacturing growth story across the power, T&D and automotive sector. Now we would like to bring to you your notice the key highlights of this issue. The IPO is opening on Tuesday, December 16th and closing on Thursday, December 18th, with the anchor scheduled for Monday, December 15th. The price band of the issue is between 365 to 384 rupees per share with an issue size of 710 crores. The IPO comprises a fresh issue of 420 crores and an offer for sale for 290 crores by the promoters and selling shareholders. I would now seek your support to make this issue a successful one by participating in the growth story of KSH. With this, we welcome you once again and would like to invite Mr. Rajesh Hegde to share his thoughts and take you through what has been a very momentous journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Shobha. So you could play the AV first. Yeah, thank you all. Thanks for taking the time. I'm Rajesh Hegde, the Managing Director of KSH, and a very short presentation just to give you some quick highlights, and then I'll open the floor for any questions that you might have. So joining me are Amar Joshi, our CFO, and Mr. Dhruv Chopra, who is responsible for investor relations as well in this presentation today. And just to give you a background about KSH Group, we also have logistics, KSH Infra, industrial parks we set up, as well as service and distribution backgrounds. And today we are of course talking about KSH International, which is the manufacturing arm of our group. So KSH International is a 45-year-old company, and what we do is we manufacture non-ferrous magnet winding wires. This is actually a subset of the wire and cable industry, and winding wires are the most critical component in any electrical coil that goes into any electric machine that is out there. When we say electric machine, we mean by any kind of transformer that is there, either the HVDC or 765 kV right down to the distribution transformer, any wind generator, any industrial motor that goes, your LT or HT side, or the alternator that goes into a DG set, any transformer that goes into the railway locomotive or on the track side as well, transformers that go into data centers, then EV, the traction motor that goes into an EV application, and any home appliances like your VLDC fan or mixer, grinder, etc. And lastly, of course, compressors that go into refrigeration and AC. So, as you can see, this has got a wide variety of applications across industries, and the coil inside an electric machine is one of the most critical components in an electric machine, and is most susceptible to failure. And that is why you need quality manufacturers to ensure that the equipment doesn't fail. If you see in this chart, in terms of, we reported FY 25 revenue of about 1928 crores, and for 3 months ended June 30th, 2025, we had a revenue of about 558 crores approximately. We delivered our highest EBITDA margin and revenue CAGR of 35.55%. Our capacity as of June 2025 was approximately 29,000 metric tons per annum. Right now we have about 4 operational plants, and we plan to double our capacity in the next 2 years. Current capacity utilization is approximately about 85%. Our end user industries, like I mentioned, is power, renewables, industrial, railways, data centers, EV, and ICE and home appliances and refrigeration and AC. We are a B2B company. We supply to almost about 100 plus customers across the globe. We are also the largest exporter of winding wire from India as well. And typically we export about 30 to 40%. If you see our track record, it's been as high as 40% to 30% of our overall production goes to about 24 countries around the world as well. We are a make-to-order business, is what I want to tell you. We don't make anything to stock. And one of the unique things about our business is that copper, or aluminum, which is the metal, which forms a significant portion of our overall cost, that's always a pass-through for us. So we, when we take an order, it's we make it once we receive an order, and for that order, when we invoice it, the copper price is fixed with that with the customer, and we fix on the same day with the supplier as well. And that's how this pass-through mechanism happens. So we don't take any any exposure to the metal price. We don't take any exposure to the exchange rate either. We focus on the value addition part of the business, and that's our core competence, what we focus on. If you look at our client base, we have global clients, especially relationships with some of the largest transformer manufacturers around the globe. For example, Hitachi, Siemens, Vernova, Toshiba, Made-in-Shah. All of these companies we supply to some of their global plant locations as well. And within India, of course, we have CG, Bharat, etc. on the transformer side. And then we have also customers on the compressor and motors like CG, then Bharat, etc. And on the automotive side, we have now started, supplying to some of the traction motor manufacturers who are developing it for the EV platforms, for the future. 75% of our revenues actually, come from the power, renewable and railways business, and 25% from the rest of the verticals as well. We have a track record, as mentioned in the AV as well, of supplying to especially the large power transformer segment. All of our exports actually is to the transformer companies globally. And if you see, from a track record perspective, almost 500 to 600 765 kV transformers we've supplied in the past. HVDC also, we have a strong background for supplying to the HVDC transformers that have been manufactured here as well as abroad. And we are also, the only Indian company right now which is supplying to the HVDC transformer segment within India. And then we have one product, which is continuously transposed conductors, which is, going into the large power transformer segment. We introduced this way back in 2006 as an import substitute, and we've maintained, our leading position in this product category. And this product is generally used for anything above a 220 kV transformer. Uses CTC, continuously transposed conductors, as the for manufacturing the coils as well. So if you look at this slide, I mean, we've categorized in the ARHP with under two categories: specialized magnet winding wire and standard magnet winding wires. Now, 75% of our revenue comes from the specialized magnet winding wire segment, which comprises of different product families like continuously transposed conductors, rectangular enameled conductors, and bunched and tapered. And if you see on the right side, this is the applications for all these type of conductors. We supply to the large power transformers, continuously transposed conductors, then traction motors, rectangular conductors, then and then when you go down the list, then you have your round conductors, which go into more compressor and the EV traction motors for the two-wheeler business as well. Now, why we categorize it like this is that if you look at it from the value addition standpoint, specialized winding wire has a higher value addition component, and 75% of our revenues comes from that category of conductors. And as you go down the list, round wires would be having the lowest value addition. Of course, the market size for round wires is also going to be larger, but the competition intensity is also slightly higher than the round wire business. If you look at the tailwinds for this sector, today the T&D sector is, of course, there's a lot of tailwinds, especially if you look at it from, what's really driving this growth is the renewable push that is there within the country as well as abroad. And second is, of course, the AI push that is there, and that's, transformer today is become the bottleneck in the power generation or transmission or distribution chain. And that is why we also being, one of our main suppliers, we are supplying mainly to the transformer companies, and that's been one of the bottlenecks, and that's why we are adding capacity in the specialized winding wire sector. Again, when you look at renewables, windmills, there is a huge push for renewable energy as well in India as well as abroad. If you look at BLDC motors, because of the IoT-enabled devices as well as low power consumption motors that is going to be required in future. And if you see from a future perspective, as EV adoption rates go from 10% right now, which is in India, will go up to about 30%. That's some of the areas which is going to have a significant tailwind for the kind of products we manufacture. And lastly, of course, we supply to traction transformer manufacturers within India, and which go into the railway, like say Vande Bharat, etc. Which would, every locomotive would have a traction transformer, and we would be supplying to them because we are also RDSO. Now, one of the key entry barriers for this business is customer approvals. To get customer approval from the OEMs is, it can take a long time, but also in this business, especially on the transformer side, we have end utility approval as well, which can take a very long time, and we are approved for Power Grid, NTPC, Nuclear Power Corporation, several utilities in India as well as abroad. When they are buying a transformer, they would specify in their sub-vendor list that a conductor has to be bought from KSH or any other vendor that is pre-approved by these utilities. So any new entrant who comes into this business, he would have a gestation time of maybe about say 5 to 10 years before he reaches the highest kV segment. And our play is normally more on the power transformer, especially on the higher kV segment as well. So these are some of the entry barriers that is there for the transformer, for the specialty winding wire business as well. Just to give you a highlight on the capacity addition, we are going from 29,000 tons, which was spread over 3 plants, to about 59,000 tons, which so this is about a 30,000 ton incremental capacity, of which all of this 30,000 tons is coming up in our plant in Supa, which is, we have started production as of October 1st. 12,000 tons of this 30,000 is already been commissioned, and 18,000 tons will come by Q4. The last of capacity of that will come by Q4 of 27. And, the IPO proceeds is, of course, for the 18,000 tons. And all these, of course, require accreditation and certifications like IATF, ISO, etc. as well. Like I said, exports, we've been, typically 40 to 30% is where we've always maintained it over the, over several years. We export to about 24 countries, If you see, we have about a 19.85% CAGR in terms of revenue as well for exports. And then I think, yeah, coming to the performance, since FY23, we have grown revenues at a 35.5% CAGR, reaching 1928 crores in FY25 and 558 crores in 3 months of FY26. Now, this was driven by volume growth, improved realizations, and higher metal prices also. Similarly, since FY23, EBITDA has increased at 56.7% CAGR with FY25 EBITDA at rupees 122 crores and rupees 40 crores for the 3 months of FY26. Improved operating leverage and our focus on improving mix shift of value higher value specialized winding wires. What I mean is, our shift has also been within the transformer segment has been more towards the 765 kV reactors and transformers, which again is, within the transformer, specialized winding wire, that would be the highest value added segment as well. So, and of course, exports has helped EBITDA margin to reach 7.21% in 3 months of FY26, up from 6.35% in FY25. Since FY23, EBITDA margins have increased as a result of operational efficiencies that we've achieved on a fixed cost absorption and higher value-added sales in the specialized winding wires. PAT CAGR of 59.83% and margin of 3.51% in FY25 demonstrated similar trends. In 3 months of FY26, we had a revenue of 558 crores, EBITDA of 40, and PAT of 22.6. If you see, return on equity and capital employed has increased to 22.77% and 16.6% in FY25 and 3 months of FY26, has continued to show improvement from these levels. Net working capital days increased to 80 days in FY25 from 76 days in FY24, mainly on account of increase in inventory days, which was attributable to inventories manufactured against large order sizes, requiring deliveries to be done only post-manufacturing on the last metric ton that we manufacture. Fixed asset turnover also has gone up from over 15x. So some of our key strategies going forward, I will not go into every one of them, but what I would like to highlight here is, we going forward, our strategy is of course to focus on the high growth, larger kV transformer segment. If you see 765 kV and large power transformer segments, this is going to grow at about, from 23 to 28, will be growing at about 11.54%. If you look at the EV market, for traction motors, right now they're taking part in some programs, but from a future perspective, when the EV market is going to grow at a CAGR of about 66.58%, and we would want to capitalize on that situation as well. And if you look at the AC and refrigeration segment, because of government PLI scheme that has been given to all the compressor manufacturers, there's a lot of localization that's happening. QCO order on copper winding wire, which was being imported, that is also, spurring local demand, and we hope to, be beneficiaries of all of this. And lastly, of course, the HVDC segment, which is one of our key segments as well. We will be focusing on all the HVDC projects going forward as well. Yeah, I think with this, the rest of it is all there in the DRHP. So, yeah, one last point is, in terms of top 10 clients, it's about 50% of our revenue comes from the top 10 clients. We don't really have customer concentration risk as such, and we also do, cross-selling of our products as well, and we'll continue to do that, because we, like in the past, in CG or other we used to supply supply to the transformer plant. When we introduced round wires in 2019 or then we started supplying to the local plants. And this is something that, as a part of our core strategy, we try to look at what else we could do for that particular customer, because these are all large OEMs which are also deploying a lot of capital in their plants. And keep in mind why we are going from 29 to 59. Today, all my customers who are there are all adding capacity across the board. So even if we have to maintain our wallet share in each of these customers, this is something that we have to do, and that's why we are increasing the capacity as well. So with this, I think I leave the floor for any questions that you might have. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a question here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, could you throw some light on the specialty wire that you just mentioned, the copper wire? What is special about it? How does it affect the efficiency? And what is the difference between the square and the round wire?
Yeah.
And how does it make the get the customers approval? How is it better?
Okay, so standard wire or is basically anything that's a rounded shape and with some coating on it.
Yes.
And that's used in the motor industry.
Correct.
So we started off as a specialty winding wire. We also make standard wire now since 2019. Now why we call it special is, if you look at the manufacturing process for standard versus special, standard is quite a, you require about 2 manufacturing steps, which is, a drawing and a coating component. Whereas in specialty, you would have about 5 to 6 steps, and each of these steps are complex. And again, the product is also, what we supply is an ultra precision product that goes into the transformer segment. And that's what the difference, if you look at the core difference, value addition for specialized would also be higher because of the number of steps that is there, as well as the complexity that is involved.
So does it improve the efficiency, and if yes, then what percentage of efficiency is increased, and how does it affect the end user?
So when you look at when we say specialized, within that there's a product called continuously transposed conductors. Let's just take, for example, that's one product. We also manufacture for the wind generator as well. If you take CTC, or continuously transposed conductors, the main objective of using CTC in the large power transformer is that one is it brings down the overall size of the equipment, thereby reducing the cost. Then the losses for the transformer, which is one of the most important criteria, as the equipment size becomes larger, that also reduces because of the inherent design of this product which is there. Eddy current and all these losses that is there. And third big advantage also right now is the throughput time for a transformer manufacturer also comes down by about 20-30%. And these are some of the big advantages that are there. And fourth is CEA, which is the Central Electricity Authority. 2 years ago, they have mandated that any transformer which is above 400 amps, they have to use CTC in that design. So these are some of the driving factors that is, making people adopt more and more CTC in the transformer and the reactors about 220 kV.
What are the raw materials that you are using? One is copper, one is aluminum.
Yeah.
What are the other raw materials that you are using, and what is your dependency on them from various sources?
So for copper and aluminum, we have the local manufacturers as well as imports. We don't really buy only from one manufacturer. Like for instance, you have Vedanta and Hindalco and Dutch Copper, etc. And in terms of insulations, we depend on the other raw material is insulations, any insulating material that is there. So you have your enamel insulations or any type of paper which we are importing from different countries. Enamels are of course manufactured here, and then this packaging material basically that is there.
So any challenges in the materials, raw materials that you are using? The availability may get compromised at some point of time, and because of that, you are using any hedging for volatile components.
No, right now there is no challenge. There is enough copper supply in the country with another large smelter also opening up. And mainly, like I said, copper is generally a pass-through, so we don't take any exposure to the copper price or the exchange rate also. So that way we are quite conservative.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Mehul Dani from FinTech Business. Given your export mix, how do you deploy your risk management practices with regard to global commodity cycles?
Yeah, so even in exports or in local, copper, or the commodity is a pass-through for us. So how it works is basically, we get into any customer, we get into a contract for, let's say, a year's supply, where we fix the valuation. Then he releases an order, for every month he will release an order, let's say, for 1 or 2 transformers. When he releases the order, I will book the copper or the aluminum on the same day, on a back-to-back basis with my supplier. And once that price is known, that becomes the invoice price for that order. So global commodity, whichever way it goes, it's 100% pass-through for us. And typically our manufacturing cycle, because of our scale also, is about 15 days. So everything, by the time we manufacture it, it is that's 100% pass-through for us. And this is globally, or like any export or local orders.
Hello. What percentage of your
Yeah, sorry.
what percentage of revenue is earmarked for R&D or technology upgrades? And my next question is are there any upcoming new product launches or technological breakthrough?
So, typically we don't really have a specific R&D budget as such. We have a product development team or a process development team. We call them the development team. And what they do is they will visit these customers and talk to the customers in terms of product development that they have to do. Your second question was?
Are there any upcoming product launches or technological breakthroughs?
So just recently in say 2022, we have started manufacturing, indigenizing the magnet winding wire for the EV traction motor application. Before this, a lot of the traction motors used to be imported from various countries around the world. But now a lot of the manufacturers who are manufacturing EVs, they are also setting up traction motor plants as well, because government PLI is there and a strong push for Make in India as well. So some of the wires that go into the 4-wheeler is something that we have developed for the local market, which used to be otherwise imported as well. So these are some of the immediate initiatives that is actually.
And any expansion plans or new ventures you are working on?
So right now, like I said, the new facility in Supa, which is the 4th plant that we have, we've just commissioned it in October. October 1st is when we started manufacturing this new facility. And going forward, we are increasing our capacity from 29 to 60,000 tons. So in the next 2-3 years, we will focus on how to utilize this capacity and make sure that the market is
Sir, please provide some insights for your revenue split for your flagship products and geographies. Thanks.
revenue stream, you said.
Split.
Split in terms of geographies. So like I said, you have.
So I think in terms of my product, about 75% of our revenue comes from specialized products. 25% of it comes from standard or round wire products. And from a geography standpoint, it's fairly well diversified across the 24 countries, but if we bunch geographies together, I would say Middle East, Europe, and North America are probably the 3 largest geographies.
Sir, you're the largest exporters, Indian exporters for specialized winding wires.
Yeah.
So, who are your competitors? And as such, you are the third leading manufacturers in India.
Yeah.
So, who are your competitors and what is your core competitive strategy? and also differential factors that make you better than the other players?
Yeah, so in exports, let me answer that question first. When it comes to exports, we are the largest and we compete with precision wires, which is the second largest exporter from India. Now, exports also, India caters to only about 2.2% of the world's consumption as well. So there's a very large runway for increasing our exports for all the manufacturers from India. And we happen, being the largest and having a good spread of 24 countries, we have a better chance, of succeeding in this part. If you look at our competition, we are the third largest, and precision wires, as we listed in the DRHP, is the largest, and Ram Ratna is the second largest. But keep in mind, about 75% of our revenues comes from the specialized magnet winding wire segment. Precision wire would be the exact opposite. It would be about 25% would be specialized, and 75% would be from the standard magnet winding wire. Ram Ratna is a pure play pretty much on standard wires as well. So if you look at if you look at the margin profile as well, we would normally be slightly, almost about 50%, about 50% higher in terms of margin profile as well as compared to this, because we are in a higher value-added segment as well.
Can you throw some light on the locations of your plants and any acquisition in future?
So we have one in Taloja, two in Chakan in Pune, and the fourth one is near Ahmednagar, which is about 2 hours from Pune as well. In terms of acquisition, right now, we are always looking for opportunities, but as of right now, we don't have anything.
Thank you.
Namaskar sir, this is Sujata here from New Plus View. So it is a grand achievement that you are the largest producer as well as exporter of the magnetic winding wires. But at the same time, it's like it's a responsibility to reduce for any roadmap for reducing the carbon footprint as well as some CSR activities for that green efficiency.
So good question. Thanks a lot for asking this. So we are also we are focusing on the environment, and we have an ESG report also, even though it's not mandated, but we have a BRSR report. I think we are coming out with a third report as well, where we focus on our carbon footprint. Some of the measures that we are taking also is like recycling of the copper scrap that we are going to be doing. That's one of our objectives. Then we have a rooftop solar. We already have a 1 megawatt solar rooftop that we are using to generate power. We are adding another 3 megawatt approximately rooftop solar as well. And there are a number of initiatives like CSR initiatives, etc. we are having in place. So it's not only important for us to just make money, but we would like to make money from an ethical standpoint as well. So I think our ESG report is there on our website. You could download it and have a look at it, and you'll see a number of initiatives that we have got for ESG.